loy by una far.
Gai ba nyo lo tuen. Gai ba nyo lo tuen lo.
Yama kwe gai ruja du pu penje no ba kena dun lew. Yama kwe ba kena dolar piem bai elwe toy ke ben dolar adu. Ikin bang tundu ma dolar kidal. Kuran kin dolar dia juan kin ma kwe pa ko kin dolar kage. Yama kwe gai ruja du pu penje no ba kena dun lew. Yama kwe ba kena dolar piem bai elwe toy ke ben dolar adu. Ikin bang tundu ma dolar kidal. Kuran kin dolar dia juan kin ma kwe pa ko kin dolar kage. Yama kwe gai ruja du pu penje no ba kena dun lew. Yama kwe ba kena dolar piem bai elwe toy ke ben dolar adu. Ikin bang tundu ma dolar kidal. Kuran kin dolar dia juan kin ma kwe pa ko kin dolar kage. Ikin bang tundu ma dolar kidal. Kuran kin dolar dia juan kin ma kwe pa ko kin dolar kage. Ikin bang tundu ma dolar kidal. Kuran kin dolar dia juan kin ma kwe pa ko kin dolar kage. Jadane yom kula yom kala yom be dong be ni magala par. Majong awan kijama be kijama tialam. Anu panda kunga utong. Agura betong abadong betul betul dong tialam wa. Bangke tialam etoy na naudia. Uwer kamu ya bati kuto. Uga tagunin keluar ni dunia kukiran kamloy. Bukan bot cilek isen media irana banai. Anggur toy mga tialam manakoy. Kaman mi ay chokan weltoy kaya bay. Wala bagyam ni chokan upal chokular bay. Malapurang jadana yung muna yung kala yung beidong penyi magalapar. Majong awan kijaman na kijaman at yalam. Ano banda kumang ay utong. Agura betong abadong betul-betul dong at yalam wang. Bakit at yalam eto'y nanaudia. Uwer kamu ya pagi kurto. Uga tagunin keluar ni dunia kukiran kamloy. Bukan bot cilek isen media irana banai. Anggur toy dong at yalam manakoy. Kawan biyay chokan weltoy kaya bay. Wala bagyam ni chokan upal chokular.
Welcome everyone. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Abraham Jack. I'm one of the Lakeside Media. For those of you who are tuning in South Sudan right now, I would like all of you to share this video regarding about we are coming up to call for calm for our political leaders in South Sudan. Lakeside Media is here for peace. We want to see South Sudan in peaceful means. We hope we are called for calm. We're calling for all the leaders in South Sudan right now to calm and search for peace. People of South Sudan have been suffering for so long. We need everybody to calm down and be called for peace. Let me welcome Edmund Yakani to Lakeside Media. Edmund, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yeah, you're clear.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a good opportunity to be hosted by you today with the political development we have in the country. And I would like to take this opportunity just to say first thanks for creating this particular platform for us to share. I'm speaking from Juba, closely witnessing the development. But of course, our message is that calm and stability is very important. And this is a development that our country is facing as we're undergoing this political transitional process. But otherwise, I'm ready. Thank you for hosting me, and thanks to the viewers of Lex Media. And I'm ready to share the updates and send messages that will keep our country peaceful and stable. And I speak with you now from Juba, from my office. So yeah, thank you very much for hosting me.
Thank you, Irimun. Irimun, give people of South Sudan back home and diaspora what's going on, what is happening right now in the stage of the appointment of governor of Warrap State, and also the dismissal of former National Security Chief General Kalkor. So what's going on right now in South Sudan?
Obviously, we are in a political turmoil, and we're in a political crisis moment, which we are trying all to work together as a different actors, political parties that in the government under the arrangement of the peace agreement are access, and then the Tumaini process in Nairobi and our civil society have all been working for securing a successful and a genuine political transition in the country. But in the process of working in that roadmap, in that pathway of political transition in our country from violence to peace, there are political events that are happening. And one of the political events that happened is that you might have seen the relief of the Director General for National Security, and then he was appointed as a governor to Warrap State. And of course, he's one of the long-serving Director General for National Security Services. And there's a lot of view around the performance of National Security Services. Some of them are positive. It's a mixed reaction. Some are positive, some are negative. And some have been seen that the National Security Services have gone beyond their mandate. And this is related to exercise of arbitrary arrest and detentions. And all these, some of the things that shape the image that the public opinion have towards the National Security Service in terms of they performing their duties. And now, him being a long-serving director, appointed as a governor of Warrap, some people feel it as a shift of politics, is a new political dimension that the country have to undergo through. Now, unfortunately, in a very surprising manner, he was appointed as a governor of Warrap State, and there was a lot of calls going on among so many political actors that either he will accept the job or he will reject the job. Some are saying he will accept the job because he wants to maintain his political relevance and showing allegiance to the authorities of the president. And some were saying he may not accept the job because that's a humiliation, is a demotion for him. So those of mixed reactions were coming for almost a period of 1 week where he is not in the country, he is in Dubai for medical attention. Then he decided to return as any other political actor to the country to assume his new role of being sworn in, expected to be today as a state governor for Warrap State. But unfortunately, the same night of his arrival, he was relieved. He was revoked, actually, because it's not the relief he could have been taken off. But because he was taken off, he was revoked and another person was brought in. And after the revocation, he was not given any other new assignment after being revoked. And this has raised concerns and this have raised tensions among so many South Sudanese asking, is this for healthy reason or this is for a bad reason? So right now, as I speak with you, there's no any public information from official source, whether him himself, the former director of national security, Akolko, speaking to the nation, where is he, what is going on now in Juba, and how does he view this particular development, or a statement from the official statement from the government updating the nation on what is happening, what is going on, why does the revocation of the appointment of Akolko as a governor to Warrap State, as a former director of national security, there's no any public statement. There's Juba right now is what is going on is information that is initiated by certain sources, and that information may mount to a misinformation, may mount to disinformation, may mount to propaganda which is hostile, and may mount to some accuracy in the information. Of course, in South Sudan, any public information, until it's disapproved by the authorities, then you can consider it. But a lot of fake news, a lot of disinformation, misinformation, hostile propaganda is going on. And that is why, speaking from Juba as an activist, my appeal is that, one, we need to remain calm. And I hope that the nation, the leadership of the country will address the nation as quick as possible within the morning hours on the development that is going on. That's really critical, is needed. And also, if it's possible, let ACOL be given a chance to address the public what is going on, because there's a lot of rumors going on. He's under house arrest, and that may have a different interpretation in Warrap State on the ground around his loyalists, his allies, his supporters. So that's why I'm appealing to the country that there's a need to have a public statement right now to inform the nation where are we, because the relative stability we have, we need to retain it. That's one thing that needs to happen. But obviously, to the rest of the nation, I'm trying to say this is why we have been so much arguing and so much campaigning about, let us not enact legislations that may empower some people to act arbitrarily towards the question of our political civic engagement in the country, because this really mounted as an habitual act if he's under house arrest, and this may cause a lot of instability. And that's why we've been saying sometimes we need to see our legislation, like the National Security Act, should not really embrace that power where somebody can take an arbitrary decision to arrest, even if you suspect the person. Take due legal processes that make somebody, because look here, managing political crisis in a crisis manner is terrible, by the way. And it's a pathway that we have seen where Sudan is now, when leadership of the country manage political crisis in a crisis manner. You might have seen this similar trend has happened in Sudan with Salah Goz as by then the director of national security or the chief spy. And you remember that train of Salah Goz going on in tension with Basir, where Sudan is now. We shouldn't go to that pathway because we have seen that pathway. But we hope that our appeal that our leaders will take a responsibility to secure peace and stability in the country. We hope that this development will not be a curse to the nation in terms of peace and stability. This development will open a window of now thinking in a reformed manner. How can we gain an inclusive political stability? But of course, also, this should offer us an opportunity to really now feel and believe why it's important to have open political and civic space, why we should not restrict anything to do with the civic and political rights in the country, because we need to come together as a nation. We need to live together as a nation, but we can't live together when we have selective way of doing things. So for me, my appeal is that peace and stability right now is needed, and the country needs to remain calm. Juba is in panic as I speak with you now, and we hope that Warrap will not be worse in terms of the panic that we're in. The panic in Juba can be cleared if the officially government come out and inform the nation what is going on, and if also former director of national security, Akol Kuru, is given a chance to speak to the country, to speak to the citizens.
Thank you. Thank you, Jermun. And also, what will be the outcome? Is it these issues unfolded in store right now? Is it going to affect ARSIS or Tomahini? So, what is going on? How this going to? What will be the outcome when these things folded? And for God, we pray for God that these things are not that worse. So, what will be the reaction from us? Give us an update too about Tomahini, because Tomahini been quiet for so long. So what's going on with Tomahini right now?
Obviously, some people believe this is a response to the hardships that was created for derailing the speedy process of Tumaini. Some people are making that analysis, that that's the response that people have been calling, that there's a need to have Tumaini succeed to create an inclusive government for transitioning of the country. And I know some people in Tumaini, if you remember one time I was with you on this online platform, we have been saying some people are reading Tumaini from an angle of individuals that, you know, the Tumaini is a coming in of so and so and so and so, and then with what's obstructed. I'm quite sure with the same development that is going on, some people in Tumaini are now smiling, clapping hands. You know, the way how we manage our politics with the issue of individual grievance. I'm quite sure some people in Tumaini are saying, thanks God, our way is being opened up. And that's why there's a cartoon. If you see there's a cartoon where somebody immediately created a cartoon where everybody in Tumaini is running to Juba saying, oh, the road is open now, the road is safe, no more roadblocks, no more nothing, let's run, things are okay. So you can see that interpretation of a cartoon that shows everybody from Tumaini with their suits and their ties, they are running. So no more mediation, Juba is open, Juba is healthy, which is an interpretation of a comedian, or it's an interpretation of a cartoonist that is trying to explain. So I think this is really sending a message that, and by the way, in terms of political analysis and development, this incident happened immediately yesterday. The committee tasked by the presidency to review the initial protocols of Tumaini, and their term of reference is mainly to look into where there's a repetition in the provisions of the Tumaini that were initial, where there's a contradiction of our access in the provision of the initial Tumaini provisions or protocols, where a new idea is coming out. A committee 1 week we have been reviewing that, we have been doing that term of reference, and they hand over the report yesterday to the presidency as per the press conference they did the day before yesterday. And this incident happened immediately. I think somehow is raising hope for Tumaini to come to the table, whether in a successful manner or in not in a successful manner, but that tells you the linkage between Tumaini and our access is undergoing repair. It's a repair of a damage that might have happened, and this damage is now repairing, is to bring Tumaini and Arcus together. But also, I think maybe also it's a sending of a message. It's a message sent out towards whether those who might have been so hard obstructing, and also automatically also realize this incident happened at a moment where His Excellency Vice President Waniga, chairperson of Economic Cluster, was completely silent about the initiation of Tumaini. But the last 2 or 3 days is becoming a campaign of Tumaini, even coming transparently disclosing some people are against it because opposition are demanding these seats. And even he went to the level of pronouncing the seats that opposition in Tumaini won. He came out transparently, and this incident happened. This is creating a political thinking, and this is creating a room for political view of the future of inclusive transitional government. So I think somehow is healthy to the side of Tumaini, but under our access is arbitrary act, is undermining civic and political space, undermining what we call unrestricted citizens' participation in political affairs of the country. So I hope that this will offer us a healthy pathway of securing inclusive political transition. And that's why we're saying there's a need for us to commit ourselves as South Sudanese to respect our civic and political rights. And this is happening at a moment where South Sudan is already a state member to the UN Convention on Civil and Political Rights, besides our Bill of Rights, besides other legislation. So for me, really, we should not manage political crisis in a crisis manner. That's always the slogan I would like to send forward, because this may push us to also seek for peace in pieces.
Thank you, Edmund. Okay, let me go back to the current event going on about the Warrap governor. What is your message to those leaders in Atikono government? What can you tell the first Vice President, Dr. Riek Machar, Vice President Mama Nyandeng, Vice President Salva Kiir, Vice President Dr. Waniga, and Vice President General Tabandengai? What they can do right now as we speak? Today is morning time in Cuba. What can they do, these leaders, to come out in public, to calm the citizen down what's going on, to update the people, to come to the media, to come to call the gathering, so to address the nation, so that the peace and this panicking? Because when I call my family and friend, people are very panicking right now in Cuba. Okay, so what can they do to come in public to address the nation? And plus the president himself, President of the Republic of South Sudan, General Salva Kiir, what he can do to come in public and calm the citizen down?
My first immediate ask is His Excellency President and the members of the presidency should address the nation on this development of appointment of a governor to the seat of the Warrap state governor, because the country is in a panic mood. There's a need under their leadership for the country immediately this morning be informed what is going on and what is the pathway. That's the first call I would like to make. This call should go together, or should not undermine also giving the former Director General of National Security, Akolkur, to speak out to the nation what is going on and what's happening. For me, these two voices are very important for creating stability in the country and liberating the country from a state of panic that we are in now. There's a need to have first address the nation, what's going on, because as I said, the country or the citizens are in a mood of panic. That's for me is very important for the leadership of the country at the presidency level, and His Excellency President should really address the nation, or persons who come from the government officially on behalf of the government address the nation. And Akolku should be given a chance to voice out his voice to clear air whether he's under house arrest or not. That's one thing that I'd like to say. Secondly, even if you are discontented, whoever is discontented with Akolku, as a principle of human rights, we should not act arbitrarily. We cannot be selective and discriminative in demanding that we should act or we should do anything in a due legal processes. This is a moment that if he's under arrest, we are urging either he's taken to court or he's released or he's free. We need to see that we embrace democratic principle in our country. We went for 21 years of war. Simply, we need a state that is democratic in nature. So that is my appeal that I would like to come forward. And I think that's for me is important. For long term, I hope the parliament should look into these practices that are empowering arbitrary actions in the use of laws that are enacted by our parliament. And I think repealing legislations that have this concept of undermining open political civic space or legislation that offer restrictive civic and political space, we need to really address them for the future of an inclusive governance and democratic practices in the country. So right now, His Excellency President, members of the presidency, need to address the nation. What's happening now? And right now, a call need to be given a chance to speak to the nation to calm the country from a situation of a panic.
Thank you very much. And also, too, what is the message that you can tell to the South Sudanese in social media, particular? They
For the for the social media users, my message to them is that please don't take advantage of this situation and act in a manner that you are fueling violence to take place. We don't want to see violence taking place in the country. We need to retain the peaceful and the stable situation we are in. So my message to the social media users that let us respect human rights, let us respect a culture of not embracing hate speech, misinformation, disinformation, or hostile propaganda. And let us all stand for democratic principles. And the message back to our brothers and sisters from Warrap State in the diaspora back home, don't take advantage of this situation to fuel violence. Our sons and sisters, our brothers and uncles, our fellow South Sudanese in Warrap State should live in peace and stability. Nobody should take advantage of this in instigating violence there. And I hope that also the state should not take advantage of this situation to eliminate, to arbitrarily arrest or detain or take away lives of others. Peace and stability gain us more than embracing violence that never gain anybody. So that's my message, is that I know some people now are smiling and they have an agenda of misinformation, disinformation, hostile propaganda, but also this is clearly the call that we're saying, let us avoid legislation that offers arbitrary actions from our leadership of the country at their various capacity. South Sudan is bigger, South Sudan is best. And that's why I'm saying, let's open a new page for the South Sudan we want. And South Sudan will remain blessed. Whatever the political turmoil we're in, this country is great and this country will remain great. Thank you very much.
thank you, Edmund. Also, too, I hear that few days ago that there were violence going on in Koi North. About more than 20 people have been killed and 37 or more have been wounded. Toy Northern has been experiencing a lot of violence for the past few years.
Yes.
And there was no peace coming to that community. The civilians are killing each other. What can the government do to bring peace in that region, in that state, in that village, or those people in Toy North?
You know, the violence that happened there are politically motivated. It's all linked to this political turmoil that's going towards the state of Warrap. And I think the new governor is going to find it harder. He needs to be a governor that is visionary, is vigilant, is embracing dialogue and ways. For me, that's the most important thing, really. And by the way, we're losing lives of women and children there badly. Nobody's reporting about it. You only hear the numbers, but women and children have become target in that state among the communities that are in conflict. So my message to the community is that they stop the conflict. I'm speaking with you. If things goes well, next week I'll be there on the ground to really stand alongside the call for peace and stability and to diffuse the tension that is going on there. So I will be in that region of Barakazal to make sure that we promote peace and stability. And of course, we have been calling for a lot of appeal that things should be handled in a peaceful manner. Yes, I've seen this question. What is going on in Juba? Known is true that power on the earth will grant it Tumaini agreement. All Tumaini leaders will not be under house arrest when they return home. You know, arbitrary practices is something that we don't embrace it. Whatever we need is that there's a need for us to have a political maturity and discipline where we embrace political culture of dialogue without harming anybody in any form that is more harmful for life of anybody who is politically active. Because, as I said, right now the country is in a panic mood, and we seem to be joining the road that takes us to the situation of Sudan that Sudan is in now. And that's why we're appealing to the leaders of the country. Let them have a wisdom. Let them not be on gear of high speed, putting us on a tarmac road of running to the situation of Sudan. We should learn from the situation of Sudan. I repeat myself. So that's the message.
Thank you. Another thing for the last one, Ilmon, we have seen the flooding across the country, and citizens are suffering from flooding. Even Lake State, I have seen the place that never been flooded before, and flooded this year. Even I have seen that I received a phone call last week. There was an even 3 years old girl got drowned to death. So what is the government is doing to assist to help these civilians that are suffering from flooding? because people now
The
their
government,
property, their food, their crops have been destroyed by flood.
the government financial capacity in responding to the floods is completely limited. It is inadequate. So we are so much depending on humanitarian assistance that may come from the friends of South Sudan or the humanitarian situation. And remember, the humanitarian situation in the world is large in scale. Right now, the attention was Gaza. Gaza is forgotten. Now, the attention is Israel, and there's other situations that are huge, whether through man-made disaster or through natural disaster. The country is expecting more flooding as we speak with you now. If you see IGAT early warning system is saying from this month until December, the amount of the rain is going to be abnormal. So we're going to witness worse situation from what we have seen now. Among the implications or the shocks of the floods that we have now, there's a high increase in snake bites. So we're losing huge lives of people because of snake bites. And while we have a limited anti-snake bites medication in the country, the World Health Organization, WP, these all agencies were saying they have limited. That's only for emergency cases, not for really responding to the medical breakout of snake bites. It's now almost across 6 states. The rate of snake bites are increasing because why? There's a competition between human, livestock, and wildlife on highlands. And one of the indicators of incident also that competition is becoming real. In Fiji, a woman went to a highland and a wild animal came and ate the child, only left the head of the child. Imagine that painful situation where your own child is grabbed from you as a mother with a wild animal, and the wild animal ate the body of the child or only leave for you the head of the child. And you start looking at the head of your own child that is struggle, that you hope that is going to be future. And the country is silent about that case, by the way. There's no any statement of solidarity, of condolence to that family. Nobody think about that family. So the situation is getting worse and worse. And besides this political turmoil that is now creating the country remain in panic, we are really in a messy situation. We require the leaders of the country to act vigilantly, to start setting priorities and to work in a priority manner. So the flood is dangerous. My appeal to you as a diaspora, we have initiated back home sort of like a voluntary support for the flood situation. We are collecting second-hand clothes that are coming and we're sending to our citizens. Some people are sending resources. I would really urge and appeal with all our different political views that we have among our citizens in diaspora. I wish the diaspora should put a basket for flood response. And I hope that Lex Media should champion that and other platforms that are coming. I know so many platforms, social medias, Clubhouse are there. One thing can unite us is really safety and security of our common citizens that have nothing to do with the political trend. So I'm asking various diaspora platforms, can we establish something that you can contribute and help in taking in a transparent manner to the best interest of our citizens who are suffering the face of flood. So I will ask you, Abraham, if you can reach out to others, if we can have even a show specifically on how to initiate a support to our citizens. Because from this month until December, as I repeat myself, IGAT have sent already a warning that the rain is going to be abnormal. We are going to witness huge abnormal situation, and the scale is going to expand to some parts of Equatoria. As you said, lakes is already expanded now, and you are saying with the construction of the new roads, water has been diverted to civilian settlement because there's no passage of water in the new construction of the roads that are going in country. Infrastructure is destroyed. So my appeal, diaspora, put your hands for besides your differences, your different views, your different political discontented positions, help us in fixing the situation of the floods in the country. The little amount of money, your $1 may save a life of your child not to be eaten by a wild animal like what we have seen in Fiji. And condolence goes to that family. And condolence goes to those who have died from snake bites. As I speak now, anti-snake bites in the country is limited, and in the hospital is not there in the public hospitals. The private clinic is very expensive.
Yeah, thank you, Edmund. It's heartbreaking. Our heart and prayers are with the family. And also we hope that the government and UN can take emergency and help those areas that are affected for flooding. Thank you, Edmund, for coming to Lake State Media. For those of you getting in, we are calling this show is we calling for calm in Juba, Warrap State, and across the country to bring not the thing that's going on. Please, we need all the political leaders to come out in public this morning, this afternoon in Juba to address the public. Make sure that we don't need to see any other violence that break out in the country, like what's going on in northern Sudan. We don't want to see that. So South Sudan has been suffering so long. So citizens of South Sudan, they deserve peace and harmony, and they deserve that government to be there for them. So Edmond, you can put in your last word, and then I will call it a day. Thank you.
My last word is that let's increase our voice for call for calm in Juba, in Warrap state, wherever we have people who may have been supporters of the governor who was appointed, supposed to take the seat of the governor in Warrap. Let them not really take advantage of this situation to fuel violence. And I hope the leaders of the country will address the nation immediately. And I hope that the leaders of the country don't act in an arbitrary manner in really shrinking the political space for the former director of national security. And we are still in a political transition. So my message is that let's remain calm. Let's call for respect of human rights. Let's call for the legislation that are restricting civic and political space to be dealt with. Let's take this advantage that we are not on the road to Sudan situation, because this is how Sudan situation started. And my message is that citizens who are in diaspora, please help us in securing calm at home. Don't take this advantage of the situation to push for a lot of misinformation, disinformation, or hostile propaganda. And let's put our hands together. Even $1 can save the lives of our own citizens in the face of the floods, alongside this political turmoil that we are undergoing. Otherwise, thank you for hosting me. And also, if you wish, today evening, whether tomorrow, we can provide detailed updates of what's happening in the country, and we can have more conversation with your viewers or with your listeners, so that we can have a conversation or a dialogue among ourselves and see the pathway. Sometimes such media platforms, people does not consider it as an influencer, but sometimes it influence. And leaders are following, and allies of leaders are following, and sometimes they act for our messages that we create in this particular platform. So media is not something that we should be undermined or should be treated as less. Media is an influencer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Edmund, and also to encourage those political leaders to come in social media, because when something like this happening in the country, they have to come in social media to talk to the people, so that the people can listen to them. But instead of avoid social media, and things are going behind the scene, and later when it's low, it will explode to the bad. So right now is the time for conversation, for them to come out public and talk. So that's, and Lake State Media is here forever for them to come anytime they will ring us, we will support them. So thank you so much for coming in, for Lake State Media to update the people of South Sudan, and we will bring you back again later on evening or tomorrow when there are new updates going on in the country. And then we are looking forward to hear from the government, from the President of the Republic of South Sudan, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, and also from other Vice President, as well as IO, Best Vice President Dr. Yagmachad, need to speak in public. We need to hear from Dr. Waniga, Vice President Dr. Waniga. We need to hear from Mama Nyandeng, Vice President Mama Nyandeng. We need to hear from Vice President Zalbaki Ayi, and also we need to hear from Vice President General Daban Dengai. These top leaders need to come out in public and talk to the citizen. That is my message. So thank you very much for coming and staying here. Have a good
Thank
morning.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will love it.
Mamloy bye. Warrap.
Guy when you're looking, guy when you're looking.
No, by Kena don't live. You know, Papa Kena dollar, Piamba, and we'll go to bang dollar. I do. Picking back to Luma dollar, Kidal, Kurankin dollar, Tiaki, Winkin, Macquarie, Pacoin dollar. Yamakwe, I would jadu poop, and you know, by Kena don't live. You know, Papa Kena dollar, Piamba, and we'll go to bang dollar. I do. Picking back to Luma dollar. No, by Kena don't live. You know, Papa Kena dollar, Piamba, and we'll go to bang dollar. I do. Picking back to Luma dollar, Kidal, Kurankin dollar. dolar kidal kuran kin dolar bial juwen kin mo kwe kwa ko kin dolar kwe jadana yom kula yom kala yom me dom be magala par ma yom awan ki jama me jikama na fialam na bana ku ma utong agura betong abado betu betu do fialam wa baka fialam me toina na udia ka mo ya bati to uga ta guni kelora ni kunya ku kinjiran kang loy open bot chile ki sen media ya na banai angur tu yo fialam na koi kamen mi ai chokan wen to kali bai wala bajam ni chokan opal chokular bai bala pura jadana yom kula yom kala yom be dom be magala par ma yom awan ki jama me chikama na fialam na banda kumba ai utong agura betong abado betu betu dong fialam wa baka fialam me tuina na udia uga ka mo ya pagi gurto uga ta guni kelora ni kunya ku kinjiran kang loy open bot chile ki sen media ya na banai angur tu dong fialam na koi kawan mi ai